What's up guys, Justin here with the CGEssentials.com, back with another Blender material tutorial for you. So in today's video I wanted to teach you how to set up displacement maps inside of Blender so that you can make more realistic images with more realistic textures, but also with more realistic geometry, because these allow you to either simulate more realistic geometry or actually create that geometry. But let's go ahead and just jump into it. So for this tutorial I want to talk about using displacement maps, and there's actually a couple different ways that you can do this. We're going to use a couple textures from ccotextures.com, so you can download them and follow along. I will link to both of these in the notes down below. But when you download these and you extract them, what you're going to find is you're going to find images that look like this, right? So you're going to have a color map, which is going to be the actual texture of your object, as well as these other maps that are in here that provide different pieces of information to your rendering engine. And so specifically today we're going to focus on the displacement map. And so the displacement map basically uses that photo image to tell your rendering engine where the ups and downs are in an image, unlike a bump map that simulates bumpiness. This will actually move your geometry up and down so that you can actually see like a 3D mesh based on this image information. So this is way more detailed than anything that we can render manually or model manually. And so we use this a lot to create more realistic images. And so to start off, let's go ahead and let's apply this to our model. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by just going into my shader editor, and I'm going to start by finding the paving and stones material that we downloaded and applying it to this face. So in order to do that, we'll just create a new principled shader. Make sure you have Node Wrangler enabled. It's going to be the easiest way to do this. You can hook all this up manually, but I'm just going to do a Control-Shift-T. I'm going to go find my material, and I'm going to bring this in. So I'm just going to click on one and then do a shift click and click on the other one, and that's going to bring in all of these different maps, and it's going to set them up for me as a principled texture. And so first thing I'm going to do real quick, because I'm getting a little bit of distortion in here, I'm going to go into my UV editing, and I'm just going to adjust this so that my pavers are coming in here properly. So all I did was just, because this is just a box, I just did an A and then scaled this along the x-axis in order to kind of make this fit. But now we're going to go back into our shading editor. All right, so what we have in here now is we have a surface and we have our principled shader set up, right? So our shader is set up so that we have normals and everything else. So if we were to render this, and I'll just do a Shift A and we'll add the sunlight. I'll just kind of move this so that the sun is shining in this direction. Maybe turn the intensity up just a bit. I don't want to focus too much on lighting in this video. But so what we're doing is we've got this material in here that's now reflecting light, and it's set up where it shows up a little bit more realistic. So the problem with this though is you can see how it's very flat, right? So even though we have our roughness set up and our normal map and everything else, this is still showing up as super flat. So it just doesn't look very realistic. Well, what we want to do is we want to use the displacement map that got added in here in order to displace this. And notice how if you're doing this manually, so if you don't use the Node Wrangler way of setting this up, what we want to do is we just have our displacement map right here. You need to run it through a displacement node with your color going into your height, and then you need to take your displacement and you need to hook that into your material output under displacement. So it doesn't run through the principled shader, it runs through this little box right here, which is a different node. All right, so the first thing we're going to do if we're going to render displacement is we need to change over to cycles. So at the moment, Eevee doesn't allow displacement. So we want to go into our render or our scene settings, change our render engine to cycles. And while we're here, let's make another change too. We want to change our feature set to experimental, because that's going to add another feature that's going to be really important in a minute. And then you can either leave this on CPU or GPU. It's not going to be a huge deal for you right now, but I'm going to go ahead and switch this over to GPU, but you can leave that either way. And so notice how at the moment we're not actually getting any displacement in here, right? Like this is still super flat. So what we want to do is go back into our material properties, and we want to go down into our settings. And there's an option in here under surface for displacement. And we want to change this setting from bump only to displacement only. You can actually put it on displacement and bump if you want to. But notice how all this did is this just moved this, right? And so the reason for that isn't because the displacement isn't working. It actually is. The reason for this is because right now this is only a single plane, right? So it only has 4 points or 4 vertices. And so what it's doing is it's taking the information from that map and applying it to the vertices, but we need more detail in our mesh in order to do this. So what we want to do is we want to click on our mesh and we want to add a subdivision surface modifier. So we can just click on this button right here, go to add modifier. You want to click on the button for subdivision surface in order to add that modifier. And so notice how what this did, right, is this subdivided this surface so that it has more detail in here. So you're getting more ups and downs in here, but it just looks kind of weird, right? And the reason for that is because there's not enough detail in here yet. So you could add more detail by clicking this little button right here. Notice how as you do that, you're getting more ups and downs in here, but things still look a little bit weird. So what we want to do instead is we want to check the box for adaptive. And so what adaptive is going to do is that's going to automatically come in here and subdivide your surface based on the image that you have in here. And so we're going to go back and mess around with this in a second, but notice how it's moving everything up and down based on the information that's contained inside of that, that displacement map that we used. And so first things first, let's switch this over to simple. So when you switch this over to simple, that means that this keeps your edges in place so that you're not getting that weird like oval shape. And then we'll come back and look at our levels in a second. So if you turn your levels up in your viewport, then notice how you get more subdivision in here. But for now, what I want to do is I want to go back to my materials section, and under displacement, I want to change the scale and the mid-level. And so the scale is going to affect how far up or down things are going to go based on your displacement map. So notice how a higher value means things are going to go up and down more than a lower value. So maybe we'll leave this at something like, we'll call it 2 for right now. And then the mid-level is just going to affect the base point or the base height from which your mesh is moving up and down. Right, so you can see how right now I want to move this up enough that it's kind of level with the curves right in here. So if we go back into our subdivision surface modifier, you can affect how much this is going to show up in your viewport, how much is shown in your viewport using this arrow right here. You can also adjust the scale, which is going to make this more or less fine. And so now let's render this out. So I'm going to move my default model up just a bit, and we'll just add a camera. So we'll just do a Shift A, camera, and then we'll create a quick rendering. So what you're going to notice is you're going to get more detail in here than you do in your preview window, right? This is going to render this out more detailed. So what you're going to get is you're going to get more detail on your rocks. You can see how your grass is growing through here. All of this just from setting up an image map that has this up and down information. And obviously these are all going to be a little bit different. So I might turn the scale down or something like that. But the cool thing about this is you get the actual recesses of these rocks and stones inside of your rendering. And so let's, just as a review, let's set up another one of these really quick. So we'll just add a plane. We'll do a Shift A, add plane. We'll move this off to the side here. I'm gonna go ahead and scale it up a little bit. I'll make sure to apply my rotation and scale. And then I'm just gonna add another material. So I'm just gonna go into shading. We'll add a new shader. We'll do a Control Shift T. We'll go find it. So in this case, we're gonna use the rocks material that I linked to, and we'll just set this shader up like this. We'll go into our material settings, turn our displacement to displacement only, or you could do displacement and bump. And then we'll add an adaptive subdivision surface modifier. So we'll click on adaptive, click on simple, and then we'll go back and adjust the scale. Maybe adjust our dicing scale up. So you can see how we can use this in order to create this 3D effect for our material, just like this. So that's where I'm going to end this video. Leave a comment below and let me know what you thought. Have you been using this node in your renderings? I just love having that conversation with you guys. If you like this video, please remember to click that like button down below. If you're new around here, remember to click that subscribe button for new Blender content every week. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I really appreciate it, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys.